So without further ado, we bridge the gap with step number 3, touch points of the funnel. So if you remember this image, it's really depicting the journey that we each take in getting to know a person, a product, or a service. It is said that you may need to take up to 7 touch points with someone who doesn't really know you for them to build enough respect and trust to buy from you or hire you. And of course, there's ways to speed that process up for sure, some of which we'll see today, but let's just stick with the averages for now. And this image shows an example of that journey. Maybe think of it like playing the dating game.
And the reason we've called this step of the roadmap touch points of the funnel is to show you what it takes to teach or to bring awareness to people about the solutions that you have that sometimes they don't even know that they need.
Yeah. But more importantly, however, we want to introduce you to ways that you can automate the process, nice, of gaining people's respect and trust, enough for them to work with you or to buy from you. Because that is the freedom, income, and lifestyle, where you don't even need to be there for most of the process. You set it up once and then let the funnel do the work of these touch points.
So I guess we better actually have a look at what a funnel is.
Yes, this is a funnel, but not the one we're actually talking about. This is the funnel we're talking about. All right, so the term funnel is used both online and offline, and it gets its name from its shape, obviously. And it depicts the relationship journey from where your prospects are as you attempt to move them from complete unawareness about you or your product towards being a valued customer or client, sometimes coming back to buy from you again and again for years.
And if you think back to video 1 where we told you that the average conversion rate of taking people through the sales process is 2.3%, this image of 100 visitors to your website represents the larger open side of the funnel, and the 2.3 who become your customer or client represents the smaller spout end of the funnel.
It's simple. So let's now have a look at the amount of time and energy it takes to do this offline in traditional marketing that we've seen really for hundreds of years versus what's now possible online with automated systems that are available to all of us.
You've got to love that.
Yeah.
So there is actually quite a time-heavy, unpaid process that we see a lot of salespeople or small business owners or individual service providers that are actually doing this old-fashioned way. So if you do provide coaching or consulting, perhaps part of your sales funnel process is to first attend maybe something like a Chamber of Commerce meeting or other business networking events. You go along, you exchange business cards and follow up each person you've connected with by phone, sending them through a friendly email saying hi, maybe setting up a meeting to talk about exploring how you might be able to work together. Does any of this sound familiar to anyone?
Not very.
Perhaps you may even attempt to speed up this process by doing some physical mail-outs or print advertising, and maybe even setting up a stand at an expo or an event to have people hopefully come to you to find out more about your services. Either way, the process would probably be something like collect a business card, call or email to arrange a discovery session over coffee or cocktails. You stay in touch, follow up, and even if they don't do any work with you, it's really important that you do stay in touch because you want to start to build a relationship. Then perhaps one day, if you decide to actually host a talk or run a workshop, you may even reach out to all these people and say, hey, have you got any referrals? Maybe ask them to spread the word for you about your event. Oh, and at some stage, you might actually even ask them to pay you for your time.
That would be good.
Or for the work that you're about to do for them or with them. All in all, this process is hugely time-consuming, and there really aren't too many people on the planet that can close 100% of the people that they come into contact with.
I don't think anyone can do that.
So there's always a funnel process, and that's the talking to or meeting as many people as possible in order to convert as many people as possible into buying from you or hiring you. So hopefully you can start to see now that funnels are actually everywhere. In fact, we walk around the shops these days seeing where people are using funnels. Yes, you will start to see the world in funnels. Sad but true.
It is very true. But more importantly, we hope you are seeing what their role is too. Funnels are relationship builders. They help people to get to know, like, and trust you enough to buy from you. But they are also, and more importantly for you, an income multiplier. Taking that one customer and turning them into a repeat customer, sometimes for years to come.
While also turning them into a raving fan that tells all their friends about you as well.
Yeah, and with the same amount of traffic, that's people entering your funnel, you can multiply your income 5, 10, and 15 times. And when you can automate that process, then you are free.
All right, so on that note, let's jump into the online world.
Yes.
And starting with actually looking at a really awesome business modeling software that we have called Guru.
So the Guru software allows you to add in your products and services, but then you can play with all the different things like price points, traffic numbers, costs, conversion rates, to just see what funnel design actually gives you the best overall profit.
So if we actually revisit our usual scenario here, so 1,515 visitors to our website with that 2% conversion on the $97 product or hour service gives us 31 customers and makes just over $3,000 a month. So this is what we have seen, and we're now just running it through the Guru software. Simple. But what you can also see here is that we have 0 opt-ins. In other words, we have not gathered anyone's email addresses, and therefore we have no way to keep in contact with anyone that has actually come and visited our website, except for those 31 people who've actually bought from us.
But the problem becomes when we take into account that most sales actually come in the follow-up. So most people will not buy from you, especially if they don't know you, in the first instance. Again, it can take up to 7 times for someone to buy. So if you have no way of being able to get in touch with those website visitors again, then your conversion rates are more likely to tend towards the lowest industry conversion rate of just 0.5%, or 1 in 200 people buying from you, which, as you can see in the Guru numbers, now gives us just 7.8 customers for the month and a pretty poor $750 in income. Probably not going to get you too far. Again, we see here how the conversion rates really do change our income levels. So time and time again, we see websites looking really pretty with some really nice photos, super informative blog posts. But you know what? There's no instructions as to what you want your website visitors to do while they're there, leaving them pretty much looking like this.
And more importantly, they have no opt-in at all, leaving their site to become more like a sieve than anything else. And to be honest, you should never drive traffic to a site or a blog that has no opt-in, because you will be completely wasting your time and your money. Really sorry to be so blunt here, but with people's attention spans these days being just down to 8 seconds, yes, that is less than a goldfish who has a 9-second attention span, people will come onto your site, look around, perhaps even read a blog or two, and then just leave. And more likely, they are going to be gone forever.
So there's been a whole bunch of effort in getting them to your site, but then you don't get anything out of it. No hope of building rapport with that person or showing them your value to actually help them. And that is truly a real shame, and it's such a simple fix. It could be the difference between you making some great income from your website or blog while being of service and not making anything at all. Instead, having to go and do something else on the side to make enough money to travel and to live.
So just to be clear, let's have a look at the process that's happening again. Traffic comes to your website. We have an opt-in, or a squeeze page as it's also called, basically giving away something in return for a person's name and email address. And no doubt you've seen dozens of examples of opt-ins if you've spent any sort of time online. And they range from things like join my newsletter to, subscribe to get some coupon codes or discounts, to attending a free webinar, downloading an ebook or a checklist, right through to even attending free video series, just like you're doing here. Yes, this was an opt-in. We'll talk more about what your opt-in choices could be, so don't stress about that right now. Just know that an opt-in is imperative to your success in earning an online income.
Now, you might make your offer to the person straight up to see if they're interested in buying what you have to offer. Remember from video 2, the more targeted your audience and the more you've cared enough to know what the issues that they're having or what they would need to know about your topic, the higher this conversion rate you can expect. But not to worry if they don't buy from you straight away, because now you have their name and email address and have a way to follow up with them through emails, building the rapport and trust. Again, we can see 7 touch points.
So just an example, these email touch points could be something as simple as the first email is literally thanking them and delivering their free gift. The next day, you might want to actually start to tell a little bit about your own story and how it is that you became interested in this topic. The third email is completing your story and giving some real insights into who you are as a person. Follow that up with reminding them of the offer that you originally had and how it is that it'll help them. And the fifth email might just be asking to stay in touch with some valuable content and sharing some of your own stories about what you're up to.
So now ask yourself what you would prefer. No funnel in place, that is no opt-in and no way of following up with people to get $750 a month. Or taking that extra time to put an opt-in place and to automatically get a higher conversion rate while capturing 310 email addresses each and every month and increasing your distribution channel in the process. It's pretty obvious now where these figures and the funnels start to work their magic. But now let's look at it over a year timeline. So with our usual figures again, 1,550 visitors to your site, 2% conversion, 31 customers, and a $97 product or 1 hour service.
So we can see that throughout the year, we would be making our $3,000 a month in sales. And if you're doing a service, that would be working 31 hours during that month for your active income. And of course, let's not forget that we'd need to be doing some marketing to bring those 1,550 people to your site. And maybe just add about an hour a day, which could be covering all sorts of things like creating your blog posts, sending out emails, doing some social media, creating a video for YouTube, or putting out the all-important paid ads onto things like Facebook.
So all in all, this model would take about 60 hours of your time each month, just 15 hours a week, which is not too bad for a $36,000 a year income. Not bad in the grand scheme of things. You might actually want to stop right there, like the 15 hours a week for $3,000 a month maybe is all you need in income to actually do what you want to do. And really, at the end of the day, that's perfect if that suits you.
The cool part is that you'll actually also have, in this case, 3,720 email addresses that you've also collected over the course of the year, enabling you to offer higher price services or products as you go, but more on that later.
But let's work even more magic and see if this might be for you. What we have seen so far is called a front-end funnel. So you use social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, the usual suspects. Maybe you have a blog, or you do YouTube videos, or even a podcast if you're really cool, or have affiliates actually promoting your products. You have things out there that is raising the awareness and interest in you and your products or services. And of course, you're a smart marketer, so you have your opt-in, creating the next level, which is actually desire. So giving them something that they desire in exchange for their name and email. And on the back end of their free gift is your offer, of course, the thing you really want them to see and buy. It's the action you really want them to take, hopefully at some point in your relationship. Does this make sense?
But to now 5, 10 or 15 times your income, you actually need to have the back end of the funnel, the hidden part of the funnel that so few people really pay attention to, except for those savvy marketers who make a lot of money online. Unfortunately, so many people are solely focused on just that front end of the funnel, which is the getting the sale. And yes, we are guilty of this ourselves. As most funnels show, the idea is to turn the leads into prospects and then into buying customers. And that might be because we all need to make money, fair enough. But in doing so, we end up leaving most of the money on the table because we forget that most of the money is actually made in the follow-up.
Whoops. And really, even the most famous ADA, which is heavily used in advertising and marketing trainings right across the world, really only focuses on acquiring a new customer, the front end of the funnel. Whereas in this next, less common image, we start to see what the savvy marketers are actually doing to increase their income and continue to scale their reach, with the front end actually flowing into the back end follow-up style funnel.
And in this training today, we want to show you the difference you can make to your income by focusing on the full experience of truly being of service to your tribe. To know what it takes to build your distribution channel of fans and followers so that you can perpetually scale and grow what will become multiple income streams. And two of the best back-end funnel additions are affiliate offers and value ladders, or a combination of both. And both can increase your income exponentially.
So let's have a look at both of those now and how you can increase your income with really little effort. So with our usual figures again, we see that we are still earning our regular $3,000 a month from selling our $97 product to 31 people, or servicing 31 people with our coaching or consulting or whatever service we want to do as well. But now, because we've taken the time to be a diligent marketer of our stuff, we can reap the rewards of having an ever-growing email list.
So just using an example, let's say that in March, a great affiliate product comes across the table paying 50% commission. Now it's a low-end product which will pay you $19 for every referral. So out of the 930 people that you now have on your list, let's say 7% take up the offer, making you a lump sum of $1,236.
Nice. But of course, then in May, the same thing happens, except this affiliate product will be paying you $29 for each referral. You put it out to your list, and of the 1,550 people that you've now got on your list, again, 7% buy, making you this time $3,146. That's a bit more healthy.
All right, so in June, there's a offer for $47 commission on another affiliate product. And let's say it drops down to, say, 6%. That's going to make you a nice $6,119. So then it's going to happen again in September, making you a tidy $7,672.
Oh, that's not bad. But in December, you actually have a chance to offer an affiliate product paying $97. And now you have 3,720 people on your list. Now, if 5% of those people buy, that's going to make you a super nice Christmas bonus of $18,042.
Very nice indeed. So all in all, over the course of a year, you've earned your usual $36,000 from selling your products and services with the $3,000 a month. But you've now also doubled your income with another $36,215 in affiliate commissions on top of it.
And you may have done nothing more for it other than sending out a few emails per campaign to your list, informing them of these great offers that you now have and that you can help them with. So again, you can see we have simply added a few emails in our follow-up sequence throughout the year, informing people of the affiliate offers you have for them.
And this has happened all before we have even added what we call your value ladder. Now in this diagram, you can see that we've added what looks like a staircase in the top right-hand corner. And this is your value ladder and where it sits in the grand scheme of things.
Now, a value ladder is simply the offerings you put out in incremental steps of price and probably size as well. So from small priced, easily consumable products to extensive offerings at higher price points. So the purpose of the value ladder is to give you an opportunity to meet everyone in your audience where they're at, both in terms of cost, but also what level of information they actually need about your topic. And the other purpose of the value ladder is that it gives you an opportunity to really kick up your monthly income by upselling and downselling your people into more products, thus increasing your revenue from each person. So more revenue from the same number of people, because your best customers are always the people that have bought from you before. They already have the trust and rapport with you, and if you have provided value once, they know that they'll get it again from you.
So to take this offline, you will have seen value ladders being used many times. So in this example, let's talk about a dentist who may be offering a free or low-cost teeth cleaning. Now they're not doing this just to be nice, they're smart. And they know that if they get you in the door and they do an exceptional job on your teeth clean, then they're going to be able to upsell you into things like teeth whitening, retainers, or in your case, like your dentist did when you were a kid, more fillings.
Yes.
Cosmetic dental work, the work that really pays well for them. And of course, along the way, you're going to need those regular checkups, which is their periodical recurring income. So it's actually not unlike a membership site.
Yes, smart marketing indeed. But also it goes to show funnels are everywhere.
They are.
So let's now look at what can be done with, say, a webinar or some products you develop by having a look at one of our own funnels for house sitting. So in this funnel, we start by having an opt-in to come to our offer, a free webinar called the Wanting to Travel webinar. Now, the webinar covers our story about house sitting, how we've had 97% free accommodation all over the world, and it looks at our costs of living during that time and also how to get cheap flights to further cut down your costs. At the end of the hour-long webinar, where we have given tons of value, we ask people to buy our Set Up to Stand Out kit to help them get started in house sitting at a webinar discount of $20 off, so $27 instead of the usual $47. And on the order page, they are also offered the House Sitting Summit. Now, we've talked about that House Sitting Summit in the webinar as well, and it's at a bump price of just $50.
So just as a side note, a bump is a very cool feature of the ClickFunnels software that we're using to build our funnels with, where with just a simple click of a button, they can add the summit to their cart. The bump has been working super well so far in our funnels, and from reports of other people's funnels too, it makes it really easy for someone to be able to add on to their order.
Yeah, so to continue up our value ladder, we are offering the affiliate product of Nomad Fly as a one-time offer. That means for this one-time only chance, people who viewed the webinar can add on the Nomad Fly membership at a discounted price of $97 instead of the regular $147. The one-time offer is another great feature of the ClickFunnels software and has worked really well in upselling people from just our basic product of the Set Up to Stand Out kit into higher priced products, all coming off the one webinar.
And yes, we're now starting to see examples of leverage and automation at play by increasing your income exponentially without very much extra effort at all after it's set up. Then our flagship product, the House City Academy, becomes so much easier to sell because it's part of our email follow-up sequences that happens sometime after the webinar, depending on what they've bought along the webinar process.
And of course, as you would guess, those follow-up emails are also automated, depending on where people ended up in the process, which means the back-end funnel is still selling for us weeks and months later without us being there. So moving away from products for a short while, let's have a look at a possible value ladder for consulting if you actually wanted to do that, or you're already doing that as you travel. So in this case, you might start by giving away 15 minutes of your time, like doing a discovery session. Then at the end of that session, or perhaps in a follow-up email, you might invite them to have a look at your $47 course where you go into some more detail. Then you might invite them to, say, a group consulting package for $97 a month for maybe 3 months. Then they might need some private consulting to look further into their own business and needs, in which case you could offer your time for, say, $200 an hour. And at the top of the ladder, you could offer a mastermind retreat. Now that could be virtual or live for, say, $2,000 to even $10,000 for maybe 2 or 3 days or even a week or more. So with the same number of customers, you could be potentially getting $2,500 to over $10,000 from each one, all thanks to your value ladder offerings.
There are literally hundreds of ways to make a value ladder depending on what it is you've got to offer. And we look further into all of this inside of the Roaming Income Club.
The whole idea, though, is to provide you enough income, probably by way of an active income for a while, to actually give you the chance and the time to build leverage products and services, or find some affiliate products to promote as well. So you can then let the funnel do the work for you. At which time, all you have to do is focus on driving the traffic to those funnels and increasing your conversion rates through some awesome relationships with those on your email list. And this, my friend, is where you'll find freedom.
So something that we highly recommend doing would be to take some time and have a play around with what it is you think you could put into your own value ladder.
Yeah, that's a really, really good idea. But before you run off and do that, let's ramp it up and have a look at what happens if you increase your traffic. Now, today we've been looking at just 1,550 people to your site each month. But what if you were to increase that with just, say, another 100 people a day, taking it up to 4,550 visitors a month, which can all be done through paid advertising.
One thing that you may have noticed is that we've been showing you examples of having a 20% opt-in rate. And the fact is that the more that you learn about testing and tweaking, it is not unreasonable to expect to reach 30% opt-ins for cold traffic. The reality is that when your message matches your target audience's needs, you can even reach up to 50% on an opt-in. Believe us, we have done it.
Yep.
So before you leave today, let's just take one last quick look at what happens to your income when you increase the very front-end conversion rate of your funnel by an additional 10%. So you now have over $10,000 a month simply because you've invested into some additional traffic through your paid advertising, got even more targeted about reaching your ideal target audience, perhaps with tweaking a little bit of copy along the way. The reality is that it doesn't take a hell of a lot of effort to more than triple your income. And all of that is even before looking at what affiliate offers you may want to use or even adding to your value ladder. Really hope this is sinking in right now.